One of my goals this year is to better manage my money, and you have some tips for me there, Julie.
Yes, I do. I think that's a lot of people's goals this year. And so I'm here to share some free resources and some ideas to help you and your family have a healthier and wealthier 2011.
I see commercials all the time about credit reports, credit scores, credit repair, whatever. Is that something I need to consider?
Everybody well, not everybody, but knowing where you are financially is really important. And part of that is knowing where you owe money and making sure that nobody else is using your credit too. And that's part of what getting a credit report will do. It's basically your report card or a shot in time of your credit at the moment. So for example, if somebody is using your charge card without your knowledge, it's going to show up in your credit report. So that's a good way to check for identity theft. Also, it's a good way to find out if you have anything that you thought you had paid off that's still hanging out there, and if there are any errors. Because, for example, there could be another Juanita, that's somebody with the same name who mistakenly is on your credit report.
Wow.
So there's fraud, there's just errors, so it's important to figure out what you're doing. And the only place to get a free credit report is at annualcreditreport.com. So, there's all these commercials for different things on TV that advertise that it's free, but if you could see that little print down at the bottom, it says that you're also signing up for a service. Oh. So to get a free credit report, you go to annualcreditreport.com.
Annualcreditreport.com.
However, to get your credit score, you will have to pay about $8 to get your credit score.
Oh boy, okay.
But the reason to have to know what your credit score is to find out if you need to improve your score, because you need to have a credit score, to aim for a credit score of over 700. Over 850 is the highest, so you need to get as close to you can, and not that many people have over 800, but it is possible to get there.
And that's really just managing your money over time, and it just takes time to build up. Okay, what are the ways we can do to manage our money better?
Well, first of all, set family goals, because whether it's you as an individual or you have a family, you kind of need to look at priorities and figure out where you should be spending your money. And the University of Florida has a great publication called Money Management Makes Sense, and it's Sense, C-E-N-T-S. And it's available on solutionsforyourlife.com, our website, and you just put in the search engine Money Management Makes Sense, and it'll come up, and it's got a really nice exercise on how to set priorities in your family. And so all you do is you can cut pieces of paper up, or you get good old 3x5 cards, and you put down what some of your priorities are. So for example, I know people can't read it, but I wrote on mine, adequate life insurance. That might be one of the priorities. Buying new furniture, or buying a new car, paying down your debts.
Paying off school loans.
Right, or saving for your children's finances. So what you do is you make two sets of the cards if it's a husband and wife or partner, or even if it's just yourself, do one set, and then each person gets a set of the same priorities, and then you order it. Because a lot of times,
work together to figure out what your real
first of all, you each do your priorities, and then you look at them together, and it's like, you want to buy new furniture? Well, I want to...
That's a higher priority than kids' education.
Right. I want adequate life insurance. It's like, because a lot of times people assume their spouse or partner has the same priorities, and when they come home with the new motorcycle, which happened to a friend of mine, that was not exactly her priority. So this will help you kind of figure out what your priorities are, and then it leads to a discussion. And when you're going to have these discussions, don't do it like when you're angry that somebody bought the new motorcycle. Do it beforehand and set a time aside where it's like on 1 o'clock on Sunday we're going to discuss this. And then you set the time aside, and you can involve children in that, especially if you have teenage children if you need to, because
they can use a lot of money.
And they need to understand that you are not the endless not the endless provider of money. It would be so nice if you were, but the reality is they don't. And as soon as teaching children sooner as opposed to later about prioritizing their money, you don't want them to concern them about your expenses so much, just, make them feel like, be terrified that they're going to be broke, but to get them to think about that money isn't endless and you have to make choices.
Yes, good idea. Some other tips?
Yes, another wonderful publication from the University of Florida is our money management calendar, and it is available on the Lake County Extension website, which is lake.ifas.ufl.edu. And we also do have some in our office for free that people can stop by and pick up while supplies last.
Now, it's not just a calendar, though, is
it? It is, not only is it a calendar, it's a whole money management calendar, and it's got educational stuff. So each month, it'll have the month listed, and then next to it I have a place for you to write expenses down, and it has places for you to write your flexible expenses, so you can use it as a budgeting tool. And you can keep track of how you spend your money during the year. So each month you can write down, it's got places for tracking daily spending, so you can use it as much or as little as you want. You can track your daily spending, you can write down when you pay bills, you can write down your income, and then at the end of the calendar, at the end of the year, it gives you a nice place for you to write down everything by month and review your expenses. And it's right on the front page of the Lake County website and the Lake County Extension website, and you can download it.
Okay.
So it's free, it's great, and it's full of really good information.
Some other tips.
Let's see. One of my big things to aim for is, when you were talking about credit, is making sure that you're not paying too much for credit, and one of your goals to consider is paying down your credit cards as much as possible. And to have one credit, if you have multiple credit cards, have at least one that you pay off every month, so you're not paying constant interest on every new purchase. Because if you don't have a credit card paid off, every purchase you make you're paying interest on. So at least try to have a credit card that you only make purchases that you're going to pay off, and then work on the other one to get it paid off. And a good tool for that is to go to PowerPayorg, which is Utah State's extension site, and it'll give you some scenarios to help you pay off your bills and to choose which to pay and how to pay them off sooner.
PowerPay.org.
It's a great site, and it's absolutely free. Anybody can log on to it, and you get a login, and it's great.
Okay. You got to have some more tips, though. I'm going to need more help here.
Well, some of the things to think about also about spending money is knowing where it's going. You got to know what's coming in and what's going out. Always important. Making sure that you're watching the cost of your credit, and also to look at the cost of your credit. And to make sure, because if you don't pay your credit cards on time, if you're late 2 months in a row or 2 months in a 6 months period, your interest rates will go up. Even if you had a teaser rate that was like 0%, if you don't make your part of the deal, which is paying at least the minimum payment on time, your interest rate is going to go up. So
but there are some that actually have 0% rates?
I'm not sure about currently, but sometimes you know how you get the things in the mail, transfer your balance. Of course, a lot of times they charge you to transfer balances too.
But the zero rate may only apply for the first month or something like that?
Usually 6 months. And then they have the option. Always read the fine print. You know, they always have the nice big print of things telling you what they want you to buy or what service, but the details in the fine print, which tells you what's going to happen if you don't pay, making sure that you're not paying any fees. And think also about trying to save a little bit of money every month. If you're not saving it, try to save a little bit of money, make sure you're adequately insured, and also something a lot of people don't think of, and especially if they have children, it's really important, is to make sure that you have, besides good life insurance, that you have a will. Because if you pass away, and especially in today's world where there may be people have remarried again, and there can be a lot of confusion, or your wishes may not be carried out as you want them to be because you didn't leave a will.
Can you do that cheaply?
There are some legal ones, there's some ones online that if you're not doing a complicated one, if you have a complicated will with a number of different people, you really probably need to see an expert. But there are some inexpensive ways online and things like that to do it, but always be careful and make sure that you read all the fine print and make sure that the legal stuff for your particular state, because it varies from state to state.
We'll talk about this another time.
Yeah.
Okay.